Thank you for joining us today. We have a briefing and an update on the 9-mile shooting and homicide investigation that has captivated Richmond for the last few days. The RPD has made 3 arrests in this case. 2 of those individuals are juvenile males, 17 years of age. Also, Clinton Baker, male, 18 years of age. Let me spell his first name for you because I may be mispronouncing his name. It's C-L-I-N-T-O-I-N-E, Baker. These individuals have been charged in connection with the 2 homicides and multiple charges of attempted murder. I'd like to thank the RPD officers, Detective F&T, and the Major Crimes Unit for their commitment and dedication that has led to the arrest of these arrests. I appreciate their long hours and ongoing commitment to this case. It is an ongoing investigation, and we are asking the community's help in providing information that would further help this case. We thank anyone who has come forward thus far for their help. I thank them for the families as well, too. If you know anything at all, have seen anything suspicious or overheard any information that you may not think could be helpful, remember that it could be, this small thing could be a very big thing in solving in this investigation. Further, we ask anyone to call Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers is there to provide information, and you can do it anonymously. 804-780-1000. 804-780-1000. We would also like to thank the U.S. Marshal Regional Fugitive Task Force for their assistance in this case. The U.S. Marshals have also offered a $5,000 reward in connection with any information that leads to an arrest in the suspects in this case. That information is open to just the investigation in general as well, too. This investigation, as we said earlier, is ongoing. Here's how you can provide tips if you were to search. It's the USMS, that's the United States Marshal Service. Tips on your computer, the browser, and submit your tips, and they also take those tips anonymously as well. We are continuing to do everything that we can to bring successful closure to this case, and it remains our top priority at this time. I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to end this briefing by giving you a list of the charges that we have thus far brought forth in this investigation. Murder, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, aggravated malicious wounding, possession of a firearm by a minor, shooting into an occupied vehicle, shooting from a moving vehicle, and of course, attempted murder as well too. We thank you for coming out and having this briefing. Any other information, we will be also forwarding that information as well through our PIO and giving updates as we go along. Thank you all.
Chief Smith, what led to these individuals? Did you all get tips from the public?
Because we still have successful prosecution to go, I would say that the investigation as a whole led to this. And I will say this off script: the officers, the detectives, the F&Ps, the Marshal Service, from the time that this happened, they have been working tirelessly to go out and find out and hold those responsible to this heinous crime. So I'm not going to give out details of what led to this here, because we still have, this investigation is still ongoing, and we still have to turn this case over to our prosecution so we can actually hold them responsible in court.
Can you again just say what you would say to the victims' families?
I'm sorry?
Can you just tell us again what you would say to the victims' families? Obviously, you know, a lot of people injured in the shooting and 2 children.
I have no words of what to say to someone who has lost a 14-year-old son and a 9-year-old son. I could not imagine the pain that they are feeling right now. And I can say that this organization and myself personally stands with them to help bring any kind of closure for this pain and this scar. I just imagine we'll be there with them for the rest of their life. And I think my words probably fall short of what the rest of this organization feels. Like I said previously, from the time this happened, we have had officers just going without sleep, detectives going without rest, away from their own families, because I think they actually feel some of that pain themselves.
Were these arrests in response to the task force you mentioned on Saturday?
It's in part of the people who were involved with these arrests and part of this investigation, I should say, let me correct that, will be part of the task force. And like I said, even before I even formed the task force, our detectives and everybody jumped in full speed with this. So the task force is still being formed, and that will be headed up by Major Ronnie Armstead. He's in the back of the room. But that task force is still ongoing. I mean, not ongoing, it's still full speed ahead. But some of the elements involved in this investigation will be part of that task force as well.
Does it appear this was gang related?
Not at this time. Not at this time.
Chief, it's another case, we've seen some with very young suspects. What can be done to try to reach out to people who are accused of committing crimes like this at young ages?
We've got to, once again, we implore the community to come out. We are doing what we can as a police department. We are also heading up some other opportunities to actually move kids away from this violence and give them something else to do. But we can't do it ourselves. This is a community effort to actually give our kids something to do. You mentioned some of the other cases, the majority of the cases that we are seeing right now. That is the constant, continuous thing that we see. These crimes are being committed by our youth, and it is affecting our youth. So we may not be able to get hold of the pattern, but we know which groups that we need to address. And there are faith-based organizations out there. There are community organizations. There are NGOs out there that it's time to shake off the COVID malaise and actually get back and start engaging our kids.
Okay.
I know we weren't taking questions, for some reason we are, but I saw a couple other hands up here.
Just a question, I don't know if I heard this or not. Are you still looking for any suspects at this point in time?
The investigation is ongoing, and we will go wherever this investigation leads us. Did I see another hand over here? Okay.
I might have missed it. Can you just, you said this as of right now is not gang related?
I'm sorry?
Did you say this was gang related or not gang related or still?
Not at this time, but the
Not.
investigation is still ongoing. All right?
Do you have a motive that you can give for the gunfire?
That's really part of the investigation.
Okay.
We're gonna still hash that out. all
Okay.
right? And we hope to have, to be able to give a good, clear motive when we hand this over to prosecution.
And the were any, which, if any, were actual targets of the shooting? Were the children who died just bystanders that had nothing to do with it, or?
That's still part of the investigation ongoing. I'm not
Okay.
gonna get into those details, but that is a very good question. We hope the investigation will uncover, and we'll be able to reveal that at the proper time.
Okay.
Okay.
And the juveniles and the Clinton Baker, they're all charged with murder, they all have faced murder charges, correct? I'm sure I have that right.
It's an assortment of charges that I just gave out,
Okay.
okay?
They all face the exact same charge?
I'm not gonna give that out.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know, these are the charges, and like I said, it's ongoing. There could be more charges to come. We have no idea yet. We're gonna go where the investigation leads us, okay? I'm gonna wrap this up once again by thanking each and every officer with the First Precinct FMT, the Major Crimes detectives, every officer who responded out there, the supervision who was out there. I want to thank each and every last one of you personally for the exceptional work that you have shown from the time that this incident kicked off up until now, and as we continue to go on. You are true heroes to this city. Thank you.